Good morning, guys. That is the school right behind me, Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. It is a huge school, 10 buildings, more than 3,000 students. And if you ask people here in Parkland, why did you move to Parkland? They say it is for that school, one of the top schools in the state. Parkland consistently voted one of the safest communities in America until today. Here's what we know at this hour. At least 17 people have been killed, students and adults. At least 15 injured, and the shooter, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, is in custody. This is the 18th school shooting already this year. It is just mid-February.
At 2 in the afternoon, gunshots ring out in this South Florida high school. Terrified students hiding in classrooms during the gunman's rampage.
Oh my God!
The shooter reportedly first pulled a fire alarm to get more students out of the classroom, maximizing potential victims.
As soon as the fire drill got pulled, the fire alarm got pulled, and kids were evacuating, I heard 5 pops.
He was just very focused. He was very focused on what he was doing. And that's, yeah.
I was in the classroom, and all of I hear was shots. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And we're just sitting on the floor and we're just panicking.
SWAT teams swarming the perimeter, searching the school, then moving inside.
I have the gunshot victim. He's by the entrance on the west side of the school. Does he know where the shooter is? We don't know, but we're entering the building.
Erica Duvall filming this video as she and classmates were rescued by a SWAT team.
I told you. Yeah, breathe. 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 You broke your window.
We're good. Everyone on the floor! We're good. Everyone on the floor! On the floor!
Terrified children let out from their hiding places with hands in the air. Students in this classroom waiting in horror for help to arrive.
Put your phones away. Put your phones away.
Another SWAT team enters this auditorium.
Run to the auditorium. Leave everybody down.
In this classroom, screams of anguish as police lead students to safety. Outside, chaos. Students streaming out of the building, some running, many with their hands on their heads, a sea of backpacks abandoned on the ground. Emergency vehicles rushing to the scene, paramedics in a race to save the wounded. Scenes of relief as parents comforted children. At 3 p.m., the shooter is still at large, but now a possible description.
White male, burgundy shirt, wearing a black hat, and either long black pants or shorts. He mixed in with a group of students that were running westbound.
Just before 4 p.m., the 19-year-old suspect, Nicholas Cruz, captured and taken into custody.
We have a shooter in custody after he committed this horrific, homicidal, detestable act.
The community now struggling to make sense of the unspeakable.
You come to the conclusion this is just absolutely pure evil.
This has been a day we've seen the worst in humanity. Tomorrow is going to bring out the best in humanity as we come together to move forward from this unspeakable tragedy.
It appears that there is more and more fire and smoke enveloping the very top of the building. And as fire crews are descending on this area, it does not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
We just saw another plane coming in from the side.
You did. That was out of
yes, and that's
view.
the second explosion. You could see the plane come in just from the right-hand side of the screen. So this looks like it is some sort of a concerted effort to attack the World Trade Center that is underway in downtown.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Jean Cochran. 2 planes crashed into the twin towers of the World Trade Center in New York this morning, about 20 to 30 minutes apart. Black smoke has been pouring out of huge holes in the upper portions of the building.
Oh my word! Oh my word! I'm sorry I screamed. That's on purpose, Alfred. Somebody is doing this on purpose. Oh my goodness.
The first plane crashed into the North Tower of the Trade Center at around 8:50 this morning. Witnesses said this first plane looked like a commercial jetliner. Shortly afterward, another plane hit the other tower, causing another massive explosion. That was apparently a smaller plane. Debris from the explosions rained down onto neighboring streets just as many people were heading to work. There's no word on whether the crashes might have been some sort of act of terrorism, but the FBI is investigating that possibility.
Knows he's in trouble on that one, and everybody's starting to run when they see Tower 1 falling to the ground.
Can you tell us what has just happened?
Yes, Peter, it's Don Daler down here, 4 blocks north of the World Trade Center. The second building that was hit by the plane has just completely collapsed. The entire building has just collapsed, as if a demolition team set off. When you see the old demolitions of these old buildings, it folded down on itself, and it is not there anymore.
That should be it.
It has completely collapsed.